So, good evening, sir. How are you doing? I just finished recording your tutorial and realized that my mic was off. So, I'm back doing it again. This is what we created last time, and I hope I can reproduce this, or I'll just save it if I cannot. General. So, what I set out to do was recreate this scene, but as you can guess, I was not able to. Well, not being able to, and just replicating it is a difficult thing to do, as you might also know. So just model a geometry that you can project your hairs out from. The geometry is not very important because we'll just be hiding it, as you can see in the moment. If I go over quickly and uncheck show emitter in render and in viewport display under particle settings. Okay, so yeah, now the emitter is not being shown and we just have some straight hairs line. We don't want that. We want good looking smooth hairs. So what you do is, first of all, increase the hair length, then go down, increase the strand size to about 5. I think 5 will be more than enough. Then add a force wheel. Force. We need force. We need to push it. Do you remember the push joke, Mr. Krishna? Okay, so we set a direction. Well, just whatever you want to set actually. Now a vortex. This is a fun field, but it's way too intense for our purposes, so we use harmonic, and we just use this much of powers and just 5. No, that's a lot. 15 is good. Then turbulence. Turbulence is actually the most conflicting force field, you can say, in a way, because what it does is it breaks the strands. As you can see, it is creating jagged edges like this. But on the other hand, it is one of the most useful tools because it creates jaggedness in your geometry, which is actually very necessary for realism. So yeah, very good force field. And we want different kinds of effects arising from every side, so we can do this. Now it's looking like some sort of flower. Okay, now let's get to the sweet part, that is actually making the effect, or the render, you can say. First of all, drop down the hairs because your PC will actually want you to, and then go down to render, click B-spline and raise it up to 5, and then go down to children. And I would suggest saving your file first, because sometimes it does some things that you won't want your computer to do, like catch fire. So yeah, save your file first, then click on interpolated. It will instantly 10 times the hair amount, but those hairs are what you need for your actual effects, and they are not very intensive also because they are just instances of actual hairs. So yeah, and for extra randomness, what you can do is click on long hairs and watch your parents, set it to around 2.5. That should be enough, and just play with the settings a little, not a lot. Then go down to hair shape. As you can see right now, they look like fucking garbage because they are not hair like. What is the shape of hair, you might ask? Hairs are thick at the bottom and thin at the tip, but right now they are fucking same at every single fucking length. So we'll change that. So the diameter radius is the end that we were talking about. Set it to 0.1, and the tip, that is 0.01. As you can see right now, nothing is happening. That is because we have not set the hair change. So you need to go to the render properties. This effect will work in EV and cycles both, but for this hair thing to pop up, you need to be in EV. In hairs, in cycles gives other options, and I don't know how to deal with them, so yeah, stick with those. Go back to cycles and click on strip. Now you can see the hair is stripped, all is white. Very funny. So set additional subdivision to around 2 3 something. 3 is the maximum, so you can't go over it, and it doesn't make a big difference, so no need to worry about it. Now back to our particle system. Again, a good time to press Ctrl S. Just reminding, click on advance. Not like we'll be using those, just to convince ourselves that we are advanced users, nothing more than that. Now come down to children, your children's, sorry, here's children, not your children, you are too young for that. Go down to clamping, use clamp curves. Okay, now this is a new thing. I hope I'm teaching you a new thing. So if you bring down this knob, you'll see that all of these form a clump. Interesting, right? Now if you play with this, you'll see that various types of shapes form, and that is what we want. So happy everyone. Now the force field is little too much, doing a little too much, so oh shit, 12.5 not 125, bro. So yeah, that should be enough, or a little more, maybe not. Okay, that should be enough. 8 should be enough, and then flow can take care of the rest. As for the size, I think I should leave it at 0. Whatever, you can play with these. I'm just telling you the basics of how it happens. Then clumping is done, so you can see that our mountain of hairs is ready to be shaded. Shading is next. We go down to the shader tab by pressing Shift F3 a couple of times. I didn't count how many times, so yeah. As you would have noticed in the previous image that I sent, the node setup is not very complicated. So we'll just go ahead and bring down nodes. First of all is a hair info node. So the different parameters are instant. Let me demonstrate it with color amp. And while we are at it, let's hop in and emission. So now as you can see in strand, everything is white. That is because every single one of them is a strand. Okay, nothing complicated over here. Meaning this is a fucking useless point, useless output. Intercept is a little more interesting, well actually a lot more interesting, because what it does is it allows you to control the gradient between the hairs. As you can see, the hairs are growing shorter and longer. So what you can do is, if you have a black background, you can shorten your hairs to look like your plant grass system. So very useful, very good, I like it. But this trick won't work on those white environments, because what you're doing is you're not making the thing transparent, or should I say, yes, transparent was the correct word. Why did I even try? So yeah, we go over there, and if we switch it up or not, we can just add the emission strength. This doesn't work. Emission. So if we add emission to it, you can see that the white parts now disappear. That is because, let me change the color so it is more visible. So as you can see, when we change the color from black to white, what it is doing is it is creating a gradient between black and white. So that was why you couldn't see it. And now if I change the color to red, the same red that is behind it, you still cannot see it. Like, you can, but in theory you shouldn't be able to see it. So that's what I'm trying to say. And right now we are not inclined to be using this, so let's set it back to black. Go back, Simon. Now for the thickness is also, actually it is a useful differentiation node, but the problem with this one over here, we have set the thickness so low for our hair that we cannot use it. It is practically useless now. because the thickness that it works on is out of its bounds now. Tangent normal is also a very fun one, because if you now see, if I reset the color, I'm back. Oh yeah, you can reset the nodes by pressing backspace when hovering over the node. Okay. Now you can see that whenever I move my camera view, the amount of color that each hair has changes. That is because the normals facing to the camera are changing. Some are perpendicular. When they are perpendicular, they emit light, and when they are not perpendicular, they do not emit light. So yeah, that is how the normal tangent normal works, and it is a pretty cool node. It works like Fresnel if you have used it. Fresnel on meshes and tangent normal on these. And then there is random. As the name suggests, it randomly makes few items disappear and few items appear. So yeah, in our case, what we can use is we can use intercept for changing the gradient of the hairs from some color, like let's take purple, a light shade of purple, not dark shade, and something like a cyan color. Yeah, that's good. And adding one more slider, we can set that to black, so we have a smooth gradient. Now as you can see, the implementation is not the best, but you can see the result is actually pretty nice. If we were to change it to cyan only, like cyan, emphasis on cyan, you can see that it looks pretty cool from top down. Top down view is pretty cool, like it's making some sort of face or something. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And if we go down to random, that is, well, very random. I cannot say anything about it. It might change it to become something else entirely. So now you can see that some of the strands are purple, while some of the strands are cyan. And that's how the node setup works, and everything works. Now you just gotta play with it to find what is good looking to you. 25 is a bit lot. 15 maybe, yeah. So yeah, this is a pretty useful trick, you can say. Okay, so we should be good with it now. Actually, this is actually really looking pretty cool to me, so I might actually render it. So yeah, profit both sides. Let me change some settings first. Color management, high contrast, and let me drop, and that's it. If you can change the standard to filmic thing also, and it also sometimes gives better results, but my monitor is shit. I cannot tell the difference what it is making, so I'll just deal with what I have right now, and that should be it. Now for the camera setup, seeing your last render file, I can tell that you are well versed with everything that happens in camera view. Means the things that you need to change in camera view. And we can go something like this, a little deeper. So bye bye, I guess. That's it for the video. Good night.